on Kababyan today, and we are live here in the studio in Los Angeles. We are taking your calls, and we have Glenn from Ontario on the phone with us to talk to attorneys Richard Lowe and attorney Allison Aquino Silva. Hello, Glenn.
Yeah, magandang hapon, Kababyan.
Magandang hapon din po.
Yes. Gusto ko lang matanong, I'm a tourist here. I got a tourist visa here in the United States, and it's going to be expired in May. And last week, sa Pilipinas, I have received a letter from the immigration that our immigrant visa is already okay na. So can I file it here in the United States? I don't need to go to the Philippines to file it there.
Can I ask a question? Who was the person that filed the petition for you?
Glenn?
Yes?
Sino po daw ang nag-file ng petition para sa inyo?
Yung father ko po.
Okay, the father petitioned them.
Yeah, if you're here in the United States and your visa is still current, your tourist visa is current, and your priority date is now current, not that it was approved, but it's current as of the month of April, or at least as of the month of May when you will be, your tourist visa will expire, then you can go ahead and file the application for adjustment of status as long as you are in status when you file that application. So if you fall out of status or you go beyond the day for whatever reason, you can't get your papers together, then that's going to be a problem for you. But if you've had, are in status now, the petition is current, then you can go ahead and file an adjustment application.
Okay, so what is the difference with you send the paper and then they send it to you saying that your status is current, meaning you've received the document saying that you are granted the green card?
Well, what you get is a priority date.
Okay.
And so that priority date says this is when you submitted the application. Then it gets approved, and that's when it's approved, but you still retain your priority date. And only when that priority date is current, when you look at the visa bulletin and it says, okay, we are now processing whatever date that is, and that's within that date, then it's current and you can move forward. Oftentimes, though, the National Visa Center will start the processing part prior to the visa being current because they want to get that all processed and then visa current. So you really have to pay attention to what is your priority date and whether it's current.
Okay, well, it sounds that it can be confusing, and the last thing you want to do is jeopardize that situation. So you definitely want to check in with a lawyer that's qualified, that knows all the dates, to just make sure, because you don't want to risk that, right?
And if I could just say really quickly, in Glenn's situation in particular, there is a very likely possibility that he can just go ahead and remain here without needing to go back to the Philippines, because if he was petitioned by his father, it might have possibly been a long, long time ago that qualifies him under one of the exceptions in the law, that even if he falls out of status or even if it's beyond May when his tourist visa expires, he might still be eligible to still move forward with the green card here. So Glenn in particular really needs to go to an attorney with the papers showing when his priority date is in order to really get a definitive answer on whether he can simply remain or not.
Okay. All right, we have a call from Silmar, si Rafael. Rafael, nandiyan ka ba? Kamusta?
Oh, kamusta?
Okay naman kami dito. Ano pong tanong ninyo?
Galit ka ba?
Hindi po ako galit.
Ay, hindi ba?
Malakas po ba ang aking boses?
Ha? Ganito lang alam ko rito eh. My son arrived here in 99.
Your son arrived in 1999.
And his immigration expired in 2009.
Okay, so dumating po yung anak ninyo ng 1999, tapos nag-expire po yung kanyang papeles dito. Ano po yung tanong ninyo?
Ang tanong ko, pwede ba siyang mag-i-renew pa para citizen yung ano niya, yung...
Sino po?
Oh. Yan.
Sino po yung citizen? Ano po dumating po yung anak nyo ng 1999, tapos nag-expire po yung papeles niya, di ba po?
Oo, 2009.
2009, nung pumasok po siya dito, nung pumasok po siya dito sa Amerika, ano pong papeles ang gamit niya?
Immigrant.
Immigrant. Okay, so, and it expired. Okay, so Ali, can you help out with the question? I wasn't quite sure.
Yeah. So his son entered the United States with an immigrant visa, which is a green card. And whenever an individual has an immigrant visa, they're typically valid for 10 years, which makes sense, and that's why his son's green card expired in 2009. And I think I heard something along the line of whether he can move forward with naturalization, even though his green card had expired. And so first question might be whether he can just extend his green card still, and the answer is yes, he can go ahead and just get a renewal of his green card, because the green card itself is just evidence of a person's status. It doesn't mean that his status ended in 2009. It just means he has no documentation to prove that. And so the first thing he can do is certainly to go ahead and apply for another green card if he just wants to extend, or he does qualify for U.S. citizenship, or at least presumably. We have to look at a few other factors. But if he does qualify for citizenship, he can certainly just move forward with applying for citizenship.
All right. Okay. So we will be right back here on Kababyan Today. Make sure to call us, 1-800-553-5724. Magbabalik kami.